That's Proclaimers. I am gonna be 500 miles. That's Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Trust in the process, or trusting in the process. I don't know. I've done a show with, I think, basically the same name a while back, and it's also a very, very good show, and probably one of my more popular shows. But this one is kind of going to be similar, but a slightly different spin on it. So I don't know. Hopefully it's helpful, because again, I've just been like kind of beating up these couple areas about the law of attraction slash manifesting that really seem to be kind of getting some of us, right? Some of us, causing us some challenges, right? So I'm trying to cover, again, all these different the basics, if you will, and try to run through them, spend enough time on each little part of them where hopefully it makes sense and hopefully it can give you guys a little bit of extra power to, make a difference. So again, manifesting is one of those things we've talked about frequently, how it's one of those where you want to start off with something small. You want to start off with a victory, a few victories, get a few victories under your belt, and then all of a sudden you're able to start to work on kind of the bigger things. So it is one of those things where when it comes to manifesting our specific person, and I think it's specifically in this, but there could be probably jobs I think might fall into this to a degree. I think generally money kind of can, but for the most part, the place where we're going to see this the most is when we're going for love, when we're going for a relationship, when we're looking to create our ideal situation, our ideal relationship. In this aspect of our life and relationships in general, look back at relationships and look at how they've affected your growth as a person. Relationships that you've been in have caused stresses and strains, have caused some ups and downs, some wonderful moments, and some pretty painful moments. Relationships provide one of the best catalysts for change in our lives. Period. Bar none. One of the biggest places we will experience growth and change in our life is through relationships. So, when we're trying to manifest a relationship, if we haven't necessarily made the required changes that are going to be needed to maybe get our energy to that place, to maybe get to the point where we're not constantly getting angry at our specific person, maybe when we can get to the point where we can be open and loving and gratuitous, or constantly feeling gratitude, constantly in that thanking feeling. If we're having a hard time getting to that place, there might very well be some growth involved. And so trying to manifest a specific person or a relationship in general is a great way to kind of push that forward, push these needed changes. So things are going to bubble to the surface from time to time, and it's going to require our attention. It's going to require us to look at it square in the face and go, okay, why are you showing up in my world right now? What is it that you're trying to show me? What is it that you're trying to remind me? What is it that you're trying to teach me? What does this moment have to show me right now that I didn't know before? Why am I getting fired up? Why am I getting mad? Why am I getting scared? What is it? Let's look at that. And in a lot of cases, for many people, it's fear. I mean, that's a super common, I'm afraid I'll be wrong. I'm afraid I won't get with this person. But I want you to look deeper than that. Why are you afraid it's not them? Not specifically them. Could be guy number 2. But for some reason, guy number 1 is the one it has to be. Why does it scare you? So again, these are things that you want to look at. Oftentimes, again, these certain manifestations are going to end up being extremely important to us. That's just the thing. So it matters so much, and that's one of the reasons why sometimes it becomes a little challenging, and we start working down some of these doubts, and why we sometimes will have, doubts. It's why we sometimes frequently will look at what's before us and go, what am I doing wrong? Why is this not working? This is a process for sure. And I will say, we're going, and from the start, if you look back from where you started and where you began on this whole process, you were completely unaware at the beginning of the power of your thoughts and the power of how we kind of manifest things. And so you've gone from being 100% unaware to being 100% aware. And a lot of people cannot make that jump instantly. In fact, 99.99% of us cannot make that jump instantly. I would leave that up to the actual masters that are just amazing at this stuff. And they're the ones that are going to be able to kind of just be like, oh yeah, that's right, that's how this works. And boom, instantly. And they never doubt a thing. Tiny, teeny, tiny percentage of people ever get that way. The rest of us, including myself for sure, we are going to go through these doubt cycles. And the important thing about doubt cycles is they uncover growth potential. The areas that we need to grow are going to be the areas that we oftentimes will find ourselves doubting. So doubt, again, is a great indicator of a place that needs love, needs healing, needs change, needs to be addressed. What is it that's causing your doubt? Look to the root. Are you afraid? Again, then what are you afraid of? What is it? Face whatever it is that is scaring you or challenging you or whatever. Face it, embrace it, acknowledge it, and then hopefully move through it. Because again, once you can stare at a fear and look at it square in the eyes, oftentimes we realize, if that's the worst thing that happens, I really have nothing to worry about. Where do doubts come from? Well, frankly, years of conditioning. Years of conditioning. I've brought this up before, we're taught through our media that you're supposed to, nothing about you is good enough as is. That's why you need the newest makeup. That's why you need the newest medicines. That's why you need the newest clothes, the newest shoes, the newest products of any kind, the newest food, the newest whatever. Because whatever you were doing prior wasn't good enough. And so you need this thing. Again, it's part of the way the marketing ploy, the way these big businesses are making a ton of money off many people, is kind of working towards your fears and your doubts, your insecurities. And they just hammer on those things all the time. So if you spend any time, say, watching the news, for example, you're going to be hit up with a bunch of commercials that are, one, pharmaceutics for sure. So you're going to start questioning your health all the time. Am I healthy? Am I okay? Right? We're going to see things for products that are meant to help beautify us, help make us slimmer, help make us look better, help make us more attractive, more sexy, whatever. And all of these things are meant to inspire this purchase because they basically tell you you're not good enough. So a lot of us are constantly bombarded with this you're not good enough concept, imagery for that matter. And we're really, truly, I was just reading an article a day about how advertising truly works, and it is truly designed to take advantage of our weakness. There's some beautiful programming that is done, and really once you become aware of it, you start to see it, and you're like, oh, here it comes. But when you don't see it, man, it really tugs on your heartstrings, and it works. It affects you. It'll make you make purchases that you never thought. It will make you invest money in places that definitely are not, 100% of the money you're investing is not going to what you think it is. A lot of it goes to bureaucracy or stuff in people's pockets or whatever. So again, a lot of these doubts come from years of conditioning. Now, I will say it's really hard to build trust in a process when we keep allowing things or doubts to start to wear down that process. So when we start getting ourselves in places where we're allowing maybe other people's opinions to come into play, when we start allowing these commercials to come in play, when we start allowing, say, maybe our family, who we've got these negative friends in our family, negative people in our family that are constantly like, well, this doesn't work, you're not good enough, whatever. Maybe it's some good friend that thinks no matter what, you can find someone different. I don't know why you're trying to pursue this specific person. They obviously don't care about you. You should go for something else. It's really hard to build faith in a process when you are allowing yourself, and it is you allowing yourself, people to change that, people to challenge that constantly, where you feel like you've constantly got to defend yourself. That's why we don't talk about what we're trying to manifest to people. That's why you don't. You don't bring it up because odds are there's a strong chance that the person you're busy telling what you're manifesting to doesn't believe in manifestation. So right off the bat, they're going to come up with a different reason for why it works, or they're going to come up with a bunch of reasons for why it won't work. So sometimes we need to ask these questions to see if we can basically find ways to get our beliefs in line and stop being challenged. Like, we need to start asking as far as who's involved in my life that is causing these challenges, and then stop with them. Now, hopefully it's not a best friend. Hopefully it's not your family. If it is, I mean, I'll say in my case, there's a couple family members that there's just frankly topics I don't bring up. I don't bring it up. I don't at all. Not going to. It's okay. There's plenty of other things that I can talk about with my family members, but certain topics are just not worth getting into. That politics being one of them. But I mean, stuff along those lines. Kind of my love life. I don't get into that anymore because it's just some of the questions that come out of my family is just like, you're not helping me. This was not helping me at all, and we're done. So I told my dad at one point not long ago, he'd asked a question. I said something. His first question out of his mouth was like, are you kidding me? And then I'm like, Dad, I'm not going to talk about this anymore with you, ever. I'll let you know when it's finally happened. I'll let you know when the wedding's going to be, whatever. But outside of that, I'm just done talking to you guys about it. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to work on this my own way. And I'm freaking tired of listening to their opinions. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're not. It doesn't much matter. Ultimately, it's me that needs to figure this out. And I need to continue down this path and learn what I need to learn. So sometimes we need to stop focusing on our financial problems, for example, or stop hanging out with that friend that hates men, or stop hanging out or talking to those people or the news stories that are constantly talking about what a mess our country is. These things are not putting positive feelings inside of you. Again, the feelings are so what matters when it comes to manifesting. So what are you allowing into your life that's eating at those feelings? What are you allowing to show up and cause these problems, these changes, these issues? We need to look and notice what it is that's causing our doubts. What is it? Is it a conversation with a friend? Is it that news story you just watched? What is it? Is it your mom telling you that you're not good enough? Is it your dad telling you you'll never meet a man? Whatever. What is it that causes the doubts? Once you start to notice it, you can now do something about it. Until you do notice it, then it's this constant hidden thing that keeps affecting you and keeps bringing you down. And then you're asking maybe me or Agnes or whoever, why is it that I'm always disappointed? Well, first off, we don't know without talking to you, right? I mean, like I've said before, I'm somewhat intuitive, but come on, you don't want to just go off my intuition as far as making decisions on your life, right? No. So there's always questions that need to be asked. There's always circumstances. What I'm trying to do is feed you guys enough information to where you can do the question asking for yourself. Your power to make these changes is within you. There's nothing that me or Agnes or anyone else has that you don't. Yeah, we've studied some of this stuff. Yeah, we've practiced some of this stuff. Yeah, we've managed to successfully demonstrate to ourselves anyway some of this stuff. Sure. And that's what you're doing also. You're demonstrating this to yourself. You're learning, much like we have, what works, what doesn't work. And I could tell you what, I could give you 10 different techniques, and each and every one of you out there could try them, and maybe 6 of them work. Maybe 6 of them actually bring a benefit, and maybe 3 of those 6 work really well, and 3 of them are meh, right? And maybe 4 of them just don't work for you. They might work for 90% of the other people, but 10% of the population, those 4 things don't work. That's okay. That's what we're learning. We're learning ourselves. We're learning what makes us tick. Remember how I said this is where that growth comes in. We're making these lessons available to ourselves so we can make the needed change, which then makes it easier to be in a good mood, to be in that good place, to be in that good, feel-good place. It becomes way easier once we start getting some of these blockages out of the way. Once we start removing some of these negative influences, be it the news, be it that friend, be it our parents, be it whatever. Once we start removing some of those influences, we start to feel better more of the time. What is it that we're doing that's bringing us down, that's bringing our vibe down? Every one of you, there's things, there's triggers, there's markers, there's things that happen that show you, every time I talk to that person, every time I mention this to them, every time I call my mom. Start to do it a little differently. That's the biggest power you have, is adjusting your course, adjusting the direction you're heading in life, and see what you can do about resolving these doubt causers. Ultimately, there's 3 things we really want to do when it comes to the manifesting process. 1, you want to feel good. This should be feeling good. If it's not feeling good, something's not right. And it's not the manifestation process, it's the doubts, it's all the other things. But if you're not at a place where it's feeling good a majority of the time, you need to go back to the basics and really seriously start looking at what is it that's bringing me down. It's not the manifestation process. So many people, there are so many success stories. This works. I can attest to it. Anya's can attest to it. Millions of people that have done this can attest to it. It does work. So if there's something going on where your vibration's funking, it's not good, then you need to look to see what's causing that. Make some adjustments and then see how you feel after that. Do you feel better? Great. That's a good one. So, feeling better, huge. 2, look for the signs. You're doing the imaginal work, you're going to get some signs. If you're getting the signs, you're on track. Yes, you created those because of your thought process. Yes, that's an indication that you are on your way. Yes, pay attention to the signs. They will also help you feel better, though it's not supposed to be the cause of your feeling. You should be feeling good prior, but it does tend to kind of sort of reinforce itself in a circular fashion. So feeling good, looking for signs, and the last part, make peace with this process. It's a process. Stop expecting instant. Nothing happens instantly in manifestation. Nothing. You can manifest whatever you want. It's still going to take minutes at best, or weeks and days and months or whatever. It is a process. If I'm asking right now, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It could if it's something really minor, but when we're talking relationships, we're talking jobs, we're talking money, we're talking major manifestations, major in the sense of moving parts. I don't mean major in the sense of difficulty or anything like that, because that would be a limiting thought. But it's more major in the sense of what all it involves, that oftentimes it involves changes that need to occur within us. If I'm trying to get into a relationship and I'm not mature enough for it, I need to develop, I need to grow, I need to change. What catalyst is going to cause that? Well, this process oftentimes is that catalyst. Love the process for what it is. It's helping you inch your way forward. It's helping show you what needs to happen. So pay attention to the markers. Stop being so frustrated every time doubt occurs. Now start paying attention to what caused the doubt. What's causing me to not feel good? What is it that's happening to me that kicks me sideways every time? That is the key to your success. Find these things and you will find your manifestation. Your manifestation's hidden in that little crazy place where all those doubts are at, that we keep trying to, no, I don't want to see the doubts. No. Yes. The doubts are where your answers are. Approach them, look at them, stare at them straight in the eye and go, what? What are you doing? What do you need? What do you want? What is the problem? And fix it. That's how you move forward through this. And once you start doing that, you'll notice you start feeling better and lighter. You'll start noticing more and more synchronicities, and things will unfold much, much more quickly. Hopefully that makes a difference in the big picture. Going to be going out with a Bruno Mars song, and I've already ruined it. Oh, no. I didn't write down what song it was. That's such a bad thing. Anyway, it is a Bruno Mars song. And I love Bruno Mars, so there you go. We're going to be going out with that tune, and sorry I don't know the name. And, of course, that's that's how we roll, live style. It's Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's having a great day. Thanks.
Too young, too dumb to realize that I should have bought you flowers and held your hand. Should have gave you all my hours when I had the chance. Take you to every party, 'cause all you wanted to do was dance.